Welcome back to the Park Kids to Park Dads podcast. It's our second episode, so thanks for coming back with us here. And as we talk about, our experiences and opinions and thoughts on Walt Disney World, as we said before, one of the things that we'll do is kind of hit on trips we've taken in the past. So, I think what we'll do this week is we'll talk about our first family trip, which is mine and Mitch's parents and our younger brother at the time, Jordan. Our brother Ryan wasn't even born yet, so that was back in 1997.
Yeah, so our first trip, I remember that we had matching outfits every single day. Nothing particular, but everybody had a t-shirt and a pair of shorts that were the exact same color. So we were color coded day in, day out. And I'll never forget that was it Jordan who fell into a puddle the morning of. We were staying at the old Key West. Headed out the door to catch the bus, and cluster of a morning. I think it was Magic Kingdom Day, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Jordan fooling around, Jordan being Jordan, and fell into a puddle. And so me and Adam were in I believe maroon, and Jordan ended up being in like green or something. So, so one of the few memories I have from '97, besides showing up at the Magic Kingdom and being decorated as a birthday cake, and our mom being super pissed that our first trip to Disney and the castle wasn't the castle. It was a hot pink, ugly birthday cake.
Yeah, that the 25-year anniversary cake. In preparation for this, I looked up a few pictures of it, and boy, it is even worse in the pictures than I remember it being in person.
I mean, a lot of work went into it, I'm sure, but geez, it was rough.
Yeah. And speaking of Jordan falling and getting all wet or whatever, that domino was then, if Jordan wore green that day or whatever, that means he couldn't wear green the day we were going to wear green.
Right.
And so on and so forth. So, yeah. Go ahead.
So I really don't, to be honest with you, remember too much specifically about that trip, besides it being first time ever staying at Old Key West, which I still enjoy that resort very much so to this day. And the birthday cake was a big one for me. Oh, the only other thing I do remember is, and I was scared to death, was the alien encounter ride. I was forced to go on that ride. And I actually saw a TikTok about it the other day, that Disney was forced to close it because there's so many complaints of people being scared and yada yada, from what this TikTok said anyways. But yeah, no, I was definitely frightened for my life. That was a very intense ride for a little kid to be on, and at the time I was 97. I was 8 years old. So yeah, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, right. That's funny that you bring that up, but it's that trip. I do remember bits and pieces. You were 8, I was 11, and a couple things, not to air too much, family history or whatever, but I do recall, our parents saved up, for quite a while to get us down there and do the whole Disney thing as a family, right? But my dad was never the most spendy type of person. It was, you don't need that, drinks out of the drinking fountain, which there's nothing wrong with any of it, right? But when there was
terrible. Still are terrible.
a thing to be spent, he wasn't the guy to really leap at that. I think Mitch and I have gone the opposite direction when in Disney, and it's like, oh, $4.50 for water. Well, I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
Guess I'm getting water for $4.50. I'll buy the smart water for $5.50.
Yeah, you budget $2,000-3,000 for spending, and you end up spending $4 or $5. So it's
exactly. So, but I do remember that that part of it, and then as far as being within the parks and stuff like that, this is not to be honest, I don't remember if this was paper fast passes or if that wasn't a thing yet, to be completely honest.
I don't think they were around yet.
Yeah, I feel like I was older when those came out, and I can remember, well, at least I can remember running. You're not supposed to run in Disney parks.
Yeah. I know in
running.
03 they were out, so there might have been some time in that time frame that they started. So.
Yeah, they definitely could have been. I should have checked that before I talked about it. But I do remember waiting in lines, and Dad's definitely the type to move us along in the line, like face forward. You're in the line. Don't sit on the railings. Don't lean on the ropes. Don't leave a gap between you and the person in front of you.
Military-esque.
Yeah. Not to poke them too much at this point, but I feel like that was a thing. And then as far as anything else, we were a early morning to late night, fireworks, the whole night, rope. It was rope drop before it was rope drop as far like we do it now, but we were there early and back late, back in those days. And I think it was a 5-day trip, and it was, the parks 3 days. And then there was
because the Animal Kingdom wasn't around yet.
Right. So the parks, and then it was the full days off site and stuff too. So, and that was back with it when it was downtown Disney.
Pleasure Island was still around.
Yeah, Pleasure Island was still there. Disney Quest, I think, was still was a thing back then.
Yep.
The tall video game place.
I mean, that was still there when I worked there.
I could be mixing that trip and the trip with which we'll do the 2000 and
Cousins,
and trip.
17 of us.
Yeah, the large family trip, but could be mixing some of it up. It's tough trying to remember all that, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, that was our first one as a family. I think it might have been only one of. That was it, right? For us, with dad and mom.
Dad, yeah. I do remember one other thing from that trip was we did go to Hollywood Studios, or what was it called back then? MGM, yeah. Was the playground, the Honey I Shrunk the Audience,
Kids Playground.
The Honey I Shrunk the Kids Playground, yeah. That was pretty epic. I wish they never got rid of that. Playing tag, and I'll never forget going through the tunnels, and I bashed my head on one of the what they are, concrete, plastic, fiberglass, whatever.
Yeah,
bashed my head real good. But I mean, that place, I could play in there for hours.
That was a really cool spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That was also the trip, not to get too gross here, but we flew, and it was a large plane. It was the kind that had seats on the left and right, and then a center aisle.
I think it was United or American.
Yeah, it might have been American, maybe. I mean, Southwest wasn't around back then, obviously, and stuff like that, or at least not from Buffalo to Florida. Yeah. But it was a rougher flight. Mitch got sick. It was me, my mom, and Mitch, and then it was Jordan and Dad. And Jordan was only 5, I think, at the time. But Mitch got sick throughout the flight. Like I said, it was bumpy.
Barf bags were real. I probably went through like 3 of them. I think 3 of them or so. Yeah.
So I had felt nauseous, but I didn't cross that threshold. Well, we were walking out of the plane. We were somewhere in the middle. Walking out, we get up to first class, and the hot air hit me from the jetway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got so sick all over in the aisle, all over the chair, and then the aisle in first class. Yeah. And I remember the stewardess was so nice, flight attendant, so nice, and just being like, it's okay, it happens, don't worry about it. Like, mom was like trying to,
help clean up and
damage control.
Yeah.
But then I just remember immediately the line behind us had stopped, and then it just cut through a seat. Because we're on the right side of the plane, going to cross over to the left. Just cut through a seat, went right around me, just all the way up. So
Epic.
I think it's the only time I've been sick on a flight, and technically we were on the ground. But
yeah, I don't think I've been sick on a flight then either. Since then,
since then, no.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, more scared now than anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, seriously. I take Dramamine nowadays for them, just in case. Just why feel sick if I don't have to? But I mean, lots changed since those days too. I couldn't read a book in a car or any of that stuff then either. So
yeah, well, Lord knows I couldn't look out the window in a car without throwing up. So
yeah,
I used to watch the trees go by. Anyways, to get off the throw
get
up.
off the sickness train. But yeah, I think that was the only trip we took as a family before mom and dad had split up and stuff. So I mean, Ryan was born the next year in '98. So yeah, December of '98. So
yeah, and our next trip as a family wasn't until 2003. So
yeah, that was the big family trip, like you said, 17 people. But that one we'll pull some. I'll be able to pull some stock footage in from that one. I know that there was videos of this trip, but that was on the micro cassettes.
Yeah, we picked the one camcorder that you had to buy an actual VHS holder for that camcorder to go into, and then in order to play it, which is without playing it on the actual camera itself.
Yeah, that was it's like the first micro camcorder or something like that. I remember messing with those tapes a lot over the years, but I don't have those. I never got those or the adapters. And I'm sure I could find something online, but
it went right from that to, I think, like mini DVDs or digital, right to USBs. So
yeah,
they didn't. That version didn't last too long.
No, we were fortunate enough to have it, so can't pull those. But so yeah, I mean, it's tough with that one. Like I said, no video footage to recall. When we talk about that 2023 trip, there's going to be quite a bit to cover, I think. But the cake stands out, though, the cake castle, by a long shot. So
yeah, just the look of disappointment on everyone's face walking in. It's just, you'll never forget that.
Yeah, fair enough.
What other? So I guess outside of the '97 trip, what other? I guess what's your most fondest memory or top 3 memories from Magic Kingdom in general?
Top 3 memories in Magic. I'd say one of them was when I went with the twins for the first time. My daughters, they were 3. Not the first time they were there, but the first time that they, were more cognizant of the fact that they were there.
Right.
Seeing their reactions when we first went in, and I think actually like Pluto and Donald were doing autographs right in that
center area. Circle.
Yeah,
very similar to mine as with both of my kids. Yeah.
So they were super excited to see the characters and super excited to be there. And we'd done Magic first on that trip, so it was their introduction to the parks. So that's probably number 1. I would say number 2 was when our youngest brother was there on the 2023 trip, or I'm sorry, 2003 trip, when he was little. Not his first initial reaction, because like everyone was checking him out to see what he would do, because he was
miserable.
Yeah, he wasn't thrilled.
Everyone was staring at him. Yeah.
And but once we got through and up Main Street, he was really excited to see the castle. I remember that.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time with Ryan back then too. I was 16, I think, or 15. So there's that. And then lastly would have been Felicia and I went once during the Osborne. No, we went there because Osborne Lights, it was like the last year of Osborne Lights at Disney Studios. But we had gone to Magic and we did the Christmas party. And seeing that all decked out in the park being like dead, dead's a strong word, but not as busy as it always is. And seeing all the Christmas decorations and being there at night with everything lit, I thought it was awesome. So those are they all have to do with Main Street actually, but that's
usually how I do too. So for me, it would be same thing as the kids. And actually not the first trip with them. Like, yeah, that was great, but to see them both, because they both had such different reactions when they were to understand that they were in Disney.
Mhm.
And I think it was Goofy and Pluto were in that area by the flagpole.
Yeah.
So that was number one for me. Number two would be my traditions class. My first traditions class, being able to walk through the utilidors and come out up on Main Street, and we did a tour of the park. And we didn't get to do any rides, but it was really cool for my first time ever being in the program and being a cast member, and getting that experience was really, really, really cool. And then my third favorite would probably be when my friends were there, and we talked about this in last episode on my 21st birthday. I actually took them backstage and snuck down into the utilidors. So by Jungle Cruise, by the Dole Whip area, around the corner, by the Skipper's Cantina that's there now, there's a side entrance to go downstairs. So the park was closing, and the fireworks just got done, and we snuck around through there, and then to beat the traffic, took it to the other side where the side exit was, and got out right by the fire station. So
Nice.
that's pretty cool. And I got to see that, and so yeah, I think it was my top three. Different perspective, being able to see what's underneath, and I thought
Oh,
if
sure.
there's something I could show you about Disney that would be it. It's really, really cool down there. I mean, there's some really smelly areas with trash and all that kind of stuff, because it all goes
Right.
down there. But it's a really neat little underground city. It really is.
I've debated, and Felicia has offered it, to do the behind the scenes tour, like the big one, the expensive one, through
Yeah.
the utilidors and the whole 9 yards. Um, but just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. It's tough with a family of six, and and the twins might take some interest in it, but Ariana and James at nine
That'll
and
ruin it.
5
For
couldn't
him.
care less. Yeah. So we'll,
um,
but that's something I'd like to do eventually.
yeah, and something I've thought about for a while too was even just trying to get a part-time job there. You got to work. I think it's 3 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks out of the year, combined. I guess so. It's 40 hours, 3 or 4 times, and you get all the benefits. So you get the free park passes, you get the discounts, you get the hotel discounts, all that kind of stuff.
Really?
And so like, yeah, if you flew down and you were down there and you worked there for 2 weeks, or for you working from home, that would hopefully Samscope's not watching. Working from home, you could actually work at the same time. But yeah, I mean, I think that was the criteria back then. I think it was 3 to 4 weeks. So that's
Oh,
something
wow.
I've always
That's
tossed
not
around
crazy at
about.
all.
No, and it is, unfortunately, you don't get to kind of pick when you work. It's, hey, you're required. We need you for these 3 weeks. If you can't do it, then you can't do it, and not employed.
Yeah,
But
then you don't really have those
yeah,
benefits. Yeah,
but
that's
they have the
something
power to do
actually to
that.
check
A
out.
company
Like
like that.
that, if it's such a low number,
Yeah.
I could figure that out.
For thousands of dollars, I could save. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that. Go stay at a Hilton somewhere on points. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about it in depth later, but I know you've worked there obviously 3 times, the college program. We talked about that, and I had the opportunity to work there, but it didn't pan out for me to accept that role, given some of the financial constraints of moving across the country. But I'll talk about that down the road as we dig deeper into our lore and backstory. But
Yeah.
Speaking of magic, as you said, transition. We did the Mount Rushmore of Epcot, and I'm sure we'll do one of Magic down the road. But why don't we throw together our top 5 rides, past and present, of Magic Kingdom? So I'll let you kick us off this time.
I went
Go
first.
5-1. 5-1.
5-1. Oh, that's an interesting. Mess with my brain there.
Mm.
I think my number 5 is going to be Buzz Lightyear.
Space Ranger spin.
Space Ranger
Nice.
spin. Yep. A lot of just memories, nostalgia for me. Going trips with Uncle Fran and us, and fighting to get the high score, and I know the secret locations, so nobody rarely beat me. So
Yeah, fair. Well, yeah, once you figure one out, you're kind of golden.
Yeah.
Currently down for a refurb right now.
Yep.
No, they're gonna redo that. That'll be exciting once you can move the laser.
or moves, and they did all new targets and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
should be interesting. How about you?
Definitely. So my number 5 is going to be the People Mover. I've after doing the Epcot one, I realized how boring I am at these parks, and I feel like that trend's going to continue through the next.
That's all right.
The other 3, but it's People Mover. I mean, it's chill. It has a little bit of quickness, but it takes you all around. It's a nice. The line's not usually too long. You can sit and have a beverage on it as well. So yeah, not too bad for me. I enjoy the People Mover. It's one I hit every time I'm there.
Okay. It's a little bit higher on my list, but
sure.
So for number 4 for me would be, I think, the Jungle Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unbelievably, it has a long line every time we're at the park. I don't understand it. I mean, it's the same ride over and over again. I guess depends on the skipper you get. But I really like that ride. It's a classic. So number 4 for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, that definitely is skipper dependent, and I think most of them are good, but it's they can make or break that ride for you. I think, right?
Yep.
It's a ride that I'll only ride on a fast pass or lightning lane. It's I will not wait an hour for that.
Yeah,
ride.
We had our last trip down there in September, and actually we didn't even need it. Lightning lane we ended up canceling it and walking right on. So
Nice.
we were there early in the morning enough where we were able to just be able to get on quick.
Gotcha. My number 4 is it's going to be Small World, which is maybe it's a hot take, but it's strictly because Grandpa Kaczynski back in the day, that was his favorite ride, so we went on it because it was his favorite ride. And back when it was boring to me, even now it's still kind of boring to me, but it's like you're doing it kind of because you like it, right? You just kind of remember it. So
I mean, I hate the ride, but I did enjoy it going out because Grandpa was so into it, and just being able to look over at him and just checking everything out. He's been on it 1,000 times, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, they lived down there and had annual passes, so. But yeah, it was cool.
Number 3 for me is the People Mover. I do enjoy that, especially after a long morning, and you can hop on and nice relaxing ride, and like you said, have a drink, and the kids could rest and not complain about their legs, and even though they're afraid of the dark tunnels. But yeah, People Mover for me. That's number 3.
There you go. My number 3 would be Splash Mountain. Over Tiana's. But it would be Splash. I'm not a big drop fan generally, but that was one that never bothered me, right? Like it was the song, the goofiness of it all and whatever. Yeah, I'd say Splash. Splash is my number 3. Definitely.
2 for me. This is tough because I feel like I've left one out. I'm going to say Space Mountain. I enjoy the roller coaster. I've seen it with the lights on. I think pretty much anybody has at this point. When the ride breaks down, you're stuck in line, you look up and there's the roller coaster. Pretty cool. Love the dark. The same thing kind of with, Cosmic Rewind, the dark, the drops, the spin, not spinning, but tight turns. It's a classic. I know that California's is different, which I've always wanted to experience, and I've never been able to. But Space Mountain's number 2 for me.
Space is a good one, but it's one of those ones I ride at once a trip.
Yeah. That's it.
It jostles, as I've gotten older, just jostles the heck out of you. But my kids like it. The twins like it a lot. So I go on it with them, right? But
Yep.
it's a good one. I will say my number 2 is Carousel of Progress, which really debated one, to be honest, for me. It's one that I go on every single time, and I make a point to get on it every single time. Probably know 90% of the script, though I don't recite it and try to ruin it for other people on the thing. But
it's a great nap location.
yeah, I've never fallen asleep in there.
I have almost every single time.
I will say I do get annoyed when the audio doesn't sync, or when the rooms don't spin, which happens, it seems, more often nowadays than before.
Going on a reno, though.
Yeah, they're going to update it. They're going to change that last. Are they adding a 5th scene or changing the last scene?
They're adding a 5th scene with Walt in it.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought I read. But we'll see what that turns into. And I think the other one needs some updating. The temperature one, not necessarily. I mean, over the years they've changed the TV to what's probably too hard to maintain, the old one, to be honest. But,
oh yeah.
Yeah. I get that it's a capsule in time, but it was the newest, so to speak.
The VR.
Maybe get a partnership with Amazon. He starts talking to Alexa about what to do, but we'll see. But yeah, Carousel is my number 2.
All right. My number 1, like I said, very hard for me because I feel like there's a lot of, at least 2 other rides that I should have in my top 5 that are interchangeable with a lot of any of these, but it's going to be Splash Mountain is my number 1. That's one that, like I said, talked about in the last episode, that my grandpa tried to get me go on, wear different, a couple of different socks, layers of socks to get my height up there. But that's one ride that until Tiana came out, that I always had to go on, no matter what. And I actually have a good picture of when I was on the program, going on it with Dad.
Oh yeah.
So one of my favorite rides in all of Disney is Splash Mountain, the original.
Very cool. Mine would be Haunted Mansion as my number 1. Yeah, I'll go on it a couple times a trip if time permits. I've probably seen all there is to see in there, frankly, but I try to catch something my eyes haven't seen. But I've been on it with all the kids through the years, one-on-one, and either messing with them or pointing things out, or whatever. It's a fun one. It borders the line between what could be scary and what's kind of cheesy and hokey or whatever. So
yeah,
it's not too scary for Disney, but scary enough that's a Haunted Mansion, right?
You sound like a dying dog.
Yeah, right.
That'll live in infamy.
So. That's a good one. That's a real good one. So yeah,
good honorable mentions. I gotta say, Pirates of the Caribbean. That's another one, like I said, jostled in the top 5 there, and then Haunted Mansion was the other. And really interchangeable with any of those other ones that the classics that we grew up on going to see and grew up to love. So
I'd throw PhilharMagic in for myself as a honorable mention.
Yeah. I don't hate it.
No, it's fun, right? It's off your feet. It's in the air, but
yeah,
it's not, it's nothing crazy, I don't think, but I don't think it gets as much love as it could get. So
I enjoy it.
Yeah. So we'll do another list of underwhelming ones, because as I was thinking about these ones earlier, like there were some rides I've seen on other people's lists or TikToks and stuff like that, and I was like, just doesn't do it for me.
And I've never been on Tron, so.
Oh really?
I have not been able to experience that. The one time I did have a fast pass, or at that time it was the lane, or the
Genie Plus,
the zones, the groups you had. Ended up being the same exact time we had a lunch reservation, so I wasn't able to hop on that. And little did I know that after the fact, you can still go up to like an hour or so afterwards, after your time frame. Yeah, but I had the kids, so wasn't in the cards.
I've been on it once. We had to pay. We had Genie Plus at the time, and we had to pay like $15 or $20 each to go on it. For just Felicia and I
Yep.
went on, and it was all right. It was cool.
That's crazy.
It's a fast, forward-facing roller coaster. We did ride swap actually with the girls. That's how we did it because I didn't get to ride with Felicia. I remember I had to sit next to someone I didn't know, or ride the bike next to someone I didn't know.
Yeah.
But it was okay. If I don't go on it again, I'm fine. I've heard that the experience is different at night. And now they have the new lights in the big canopy section, so that might look really cool, I guess.
Aris or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So, but as far as I'm concerned, it's like, all right, cool, I did it.
Yep.
It's all right. So
yeah, we're gonna revisit some of these. Obviously it's not the first or it's the first, but not the last time we'll talk about Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. By a long shot.
And we'll dive into some restaurant rankings and quick service spots or desserts or all that kind of stuff too as we go through.
Next time I think we'll hit next time. We'll talk a little bit about the trip that we just took. We'll talk Animal Kingdom because that was the first day that we had together, right?
Yeah.
On this past trip. So we'll talk a little about Animal Kingdom and the rides and the situations there and just kind of how we did it. Maybe leave you with a tip or two or something that you've heard 1,000 times and you're like, that doesn't work. But
the only proper way to do Magic Kingdom is starting in Tomorrowland. I don't want to hear anything otherwise. That's the way you go, and so be it.
Into the right.
Yep.
And you got to walk through the noodle spot.
Yep.
You don't go the main part of the walkway. You cut through
for the noobs.
So, all right. Well, that was it for us. We appreciate you hanging out and look forward to talking to you again. Have a good night.
See you real soon.